Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. According to the General Hospital recap for Friday, May 9th, Willow Corinthos made a Michael Corinthos confession that surprised Sasha Gilmore Corbin. Sonny Corinthos also felt some pain during Jen Sidwell's pitch, so here's how it all played out. Alexis Davis met with Harrison Chase and Brooke Lynn Quartermaine to discuss their adoption plans. Brooke Lynn admitted to giving up a baby as a teen and was concerned that it would jeopardize their chances of adopting a kid today. But Alexis emphasized that adoption agencies typically focus on current situations. Chase and Brooke Lynn eventually discussed how a closed adoption felt perfect for their family. Willow seemed to be Sasha's nurse in a medical exam room, which astonished her. Willow proposed coming together as a family because their children were all members of the Quartermaine dynasty. Sasha, on the other hand, rejected Willow's offer and essentially grumbled about Willow excluding Michael. Willow claimed that Michael was the one who excluded her, since he refused to see her when she visited him in Germany. At the Quartermaine mansion, Jason Morgan inquired whether Dante Falconeri was threatening to charge Danny Morgan with manslaughter, but Dante was simply expressing how serious the matter was. Dante claimed that Jason had not been the present father that Danny needed, so Jason felt bad about it and later spoke up to Lois Cerullo about moving his priorities. Danny arrived at Lulu Spencer's house, and she spoke with him briefly, confirming that Danny was aware that what he did was wrong. Danny apologized to Lulu and Rocco Falconeri for bringing him into the party pandemonium. Rocco did not blame Danny, who promised to assist Rocco clean the house as Lulu's punishment for him. Dante eventually came and gave Danny a bit more attitude, but Rocco privately told his father to back off because he was accountable for his own decision to drink. Dante eventually calmed down and said that both boys were aware of their mistakes. Danny and Rocco were permitted to take a rest upstairs after a long day of cleaning. Lois approached Dante and apologized, to which he reciprocated. After calming down, Dante was more tolerant of Lois' support of Giovanni Gio Palmieri. After making a phone call concerning L&B recordings and some old tour dates, Lulu later visited with Ned Quartermaine and got him to talk about Lois' touring history. Ned added that Brooke Lynn missed 6 months of her senior year because Lois brought her on tour as well. When Sasha ran with Jason, she surprised him with updates on her talk with Willow. Jason said that it was his idea for Willow to see Michael in Germany, but Sasha startled him when she revealed that Michael had turned her down. Willow was relieved that Curtis Ashford's account of Drew's latest ordeal had not been salacious. Willow thought Curtis would write an article about Drew being drugged against his will, but Curtis said they couldn't guarantee it. Willow felt something in Drew's coat pocket jab her when they met and embraced each other. Drew took out the tiny envelope Brad Cooper had given him and invited Willow to look inside. Drew said that the little vial in the mail was a vitamin infusion given to him by his doctor. When Curtis met with Portia, he discussed doing a story on ketamine as a party drug. Curtis definitely wanted to make Drew look terrible, and was surprised when Portia tried to talk him out of it. Jordan persuaded Sonny to listen to Sidwell's case for buying Sonny's peers. Sidwell acted as if the arrangement was mutually advantageous because he was willing to pay a premium. Sidwell believed that after Sonny was released from the referendum, the Esplanade would most certainly proceed at its original location. Sonny felt it was a gamble, but Sidwell countered that he would be the one taking all the risks while Sonny gained. Sonny struggled to stand up at times and appeared to be trying to hide some pain after his surgery. Jordan and Sidwell questioned Sonny's well-being, but he minimized the situation before resuming their conversation. As Sidwell began his pitch, he claimed that Sonny and Laura Collins would no longer be involved in all of this drama. When Jason went to Sonny's house later, he learned of Sidwell's offer. Jason was shocked when Sonny stated that he was seriously considering it. Finally, Sidwell entered Alexis' office for assistance with the legal paperwork and made a prediction regarding the significant real estate transaction he was about to undertake. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Sidwell may be acquiring greater authority in Port Charles, which may be harmful for all of its citizens. General Hospital spoilers for Monday, May 12th, state that Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan will dispute over the Jen Sidwell transaction, while Carly Spencer receives a romantic surprise. At the Metro Court, Jack Brennan will once more sweep Carly off her feet. Carly will worry if she is truly important to Brennan, and he may realize he has not done a good enough job of communicating his true sentiments. Brennan will give a touching speech about his heart, which will catch Carly off surprise in the best manner conceivable. Sonny will confront Jason at his house since he is seriously considering Sidwell's offer to acquire his peers. Jason will point out why this is a horrible choice, but Sonny will believe it is the greatest move he can make right now. For our family's sake, I'm not passing it up, Sonny exclaims in Monday's GH teaser video. Jordan Ashford plans to pay Laura Collins a visit and give some unpleasant news. Jordan will reveal she believes Laura is in serious jeopardy and will express alarm about some of the political actions being made against her. Curtis Ashford will be angry at Portia Robinson's office, wondering why she is protecting Drew Kane. Portia will finally admit that she has to, but will she ultimately tell Curtis about all the blackmail drama? Tracy Quartermaine will try to persuade Lulu Spencer not to write her adoption piece by revealing what Brooke Lynn Quartermaine told her about the baby she abandoned. Of course, Brooke Lynn left out an important piece of information by not disclosing that Dante Falconeri is her child's father. Will Lulu reveal the information to Tracy or keep it to herself? Emma Scorpio Drake will notice something is seriously wrong when she tries to turn in her extra credit assignment. Despite Emma's efforts in developing the data protocol, the information on the flash drive will become corrupted. Emma will have difficulty understanding what happened, but viewers are already aware that Jocelyn Jacks sabotaged her. Jocelyn also created a copy of Emma's information, thus it appears she will steal Emma's work and submit it as her own. Jocelyn will hope that this formally puts her in the race for the research assistant position, but Professor Henry Hank Dalton will admit there is one condition. General Hospital spoilers indicate that Jocelyn will continue to work hard to complete her WSB mission, so stay tuned for more of her predictions about her huge plan. The drama in Port Charles reached new heights on General Hospital's Friday, May 9th episode, as secrets were revealed, alliances altered, and emotional confrontations kept fans on the tip of their seats. Willow Tate, in the center of it all, made a shocking disclosure to Michael Corinthos, sending shockwaves through their relationship and leaving Sasha Gilmore completely startled. The episode was full of tension, grief, and surprising twists, demonstrating once more that no one in Port Charles can escape the consequences of their previous decisions. The day began with Willow and Michael sharing a quiet moment. Their bond seemed stronger than ever after surviving so many challenges. However, beyond Willow's calm demeanor, trouble was brewing. She had been fighting with a secret that threatened to undermine her trust in Michael. Willow paused as they discussed their future plans, her uneasiness evident. Michael, ever perceptive, observed her hesitation and urged her for an explanation. What followed was a confession that would alter everything. Willow, with tears in her eyes, disclosed that she had been hiding a sad reality from Michael, one related to their common history and the convoluted web of deceit that surrounded their family. Sasha, who walked in at the worst possible time and overheard just enough to send her reeling, was unsure what the nature of her confession was. Sasha, who had been dealing with her own troubles, was unprepared for the emotional blow that had just been delivered. Her expression was filled with horror as she processed Willow's words, recognizing that the consequences of this revelation could affect her as well. Meanwhile, across town, Carly Corinthos was embroiled in her own conflict. Still grieving from recent betrayals, she was forced to face yet another adversary, one who appeared intent to demolish everything she had accomplished. Carly's resilience was tested as she planned her next move, knowing the stakes had never been higher. Her sequences were a lesson in tension, with spectators wondering whether she would win or face a struggle she couldn't conquer. At the same time, Sonny Corinthos was dealing with his own issues. His tense relationship with Jason Morgan was being strained as old wounds reopened and new threats appeared. The two men had always enjoyed mutual regard and trust, but recent events had tested their friendship. Sonny's characteristic ferocity was on full display as he struck a delicate balance between loyalty and self-preservation. His scenes were fraught with tension, making spectators question if this couple could withstand the latest crises. Back in the hospital, Elizabeth Baldwin was caught in the midst of a brewing tempest. Her relationship with both Finn and Hamilton Finn put her in a difficult situation, as their professional and personal problems intersected. Elizabeth's compassion and fortitude were on full show as she attempted to mediate the situation, but it was evident that not everyone wanted to listen. The tension in the room was palpable, and viewers were left wondering if her efforts would be sufficient to prevent an all-out conflict. Ava Jerome resumed her machinations, demonstrating why she is one of Port Charles's most formidable players. Her most recent plot involves manipulating Nicholas Cassadine, and the interactions between them were full with exquisite tension. Ava's strategic maneuvers and Nicholas' rising paranoia made for riveting television, leaving spectators wondering who would triumph. Ava's ability to keep one step ahead of her opponents was both remarkable and terrifying, leaving spectators ready for her next move. As the program progressed, the consequences of Willow's revelation became clear. Michael, plainly shaken, struggled to comprehend what he just learnt. His reaction was a mix of rage, betrayal, and sadness, and the emotional impact of the scene was palpable. Willow, meantime, was forced to deal with the ramifications of her decision to keep the truth hidden. The grief in her eyes was agonizing as she realized that her attempt to protect Michael could have cost her everything. Sasha, still reeling from what she'd heard, found herself at a crossroads. The revelation had serious consequences for her own life, forcing her to address difficult questions about loyalty, trust, and forgiveness. Her moments were loaded with raw emotion, as she struggled to accept that nothing in Port Charles was ever what it seemed. The episode ended on a cliffhanger, leaving fans wanting more. Willow and Michael's love hung in the balance, Sasha's future was uncertain, and the many power conflicts in Port Charles showed no signs of slowing down. With so many storylines at a boiling point, the upcoming episode promised even more drama, twists, and heart-stopping scenes. General Hospital once again demonstrated why it is still a must-see soap drama, with captivating storyline, standout performances, and unforgettable shocks. As fans pondered the events of May 9th, one thing became clear. In Port Charles, the truth always emerges, and no one is immune to the consequences. The animosity between Sonny Corinthos and Jason Morgan had been building for weeks, but the Sidwell deal was the catalyst that sparked a full-fledged showdown. What had begun as a simple business negotiation had devolved into a vicious feud, exposing the deep schisms between the two men who were once inseparable. The Sidwell Corporation, a profitable shipping company, had been on Sonny's radar for months, but Jason had qualms that he wasn't ready to ignore, no matter how convincing Sonny's arguments were. The argument reached a climax in Sonny's office at Metro Court, where the dark lighting and hum of the city outside did little to mitigate the intensity of their conversation. Sonny, ever the tactician, leaned in, his voice low but forceful. "This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Jason. We secure Sidwell, and we control the entire eastern shipping lane. No more competition, no more middlemen. It's clean, it's efficient, and it's profitable." Jason, arms crossed, remained still. "It's not clean, Sonny. Sidwell's got ties to the Balkan Syndicate. You bring them into the fold, and we're inviting trouble we don't need." Sonny scoffed and shook his head. "Since when did you start worrying about who we do business with? We've handled worse." "That's the problem," Jason said. "We keep pushing the line and one day there's no going back. I won't be part of something that puts innocent people at risk." The air between them became heavier, with the unsaid weight of their divided brothers pushing down. Sonny's jaws constricted. "Innocent people? This business has never been about playing it safe. You used to understand that." Jason's expression clouded. "Maybe I did. But things change. People change." The insinuation hovered in the air. Sonny knew Jason wasn't just discussing the Sidwell deal. This was about more than business, it was about loyalty, trust, and the different routes they were now on. Before the dispute could get any worse, Carly Corinthos walked into the room, abruptly changing the mood. She glanced between the two men, dressed impeccably as usual, and sensed the tension right away. "Am I interrupting something?" Sonny sighed and forced a smile. "Just business, Carly. Nothing you need to worry about." Jason said nothing. His silence spoke volumes. Carly, never one to be overlooked, arched her brow. "Right. Because when the two of you look like you're 2 seconds away from throwing punches, it's just business." Sonny sent Carly a warning glance, but she disregarded it and turned her focus to Jason. "Whatever this is, maybe you should take a breather. Cool off before things get said that can't be taken back." General Hospital spoilers make us wonder whether Nina Reeves' 6 forceful words hinted to a Sonny Corinthos reunion. There may yet be hope for Sonny and Nina to reconcile, So let us discuss Nina's clue in GH's May 8th episode. Nina spent some time at the Metro Court Bar catching up with Curtis Ashford, which naturally led to her tirade about Drew Kane. Curtis and Nina, on the other hand, discussed the referendum and the ongoing battle against Sonny in Port Charles. Drew eventually joined Tracy Quartermaine, Jordan Ashford, Jen Sidwell, and Marco Rios for what was essentially an anti-Sonny conference. There is a strong push against Sonny right now, but Nina has made it clear who she favors. That takes us to those 6 powerful words, which could pave the way for Sonny and Nina's passionate reunion. Despite everything, I'm still on Team Sonny, Nina proclaimed. Of course, this does not guarantee Nina and Sonny will have another romantic chapter, but it does not rule it out. The fact that Nina continues to support Sonny is a step in the right way. Nina can still support Sonny without reconnecting with him, yet some fans hope they will be a couple again eventually. There's no disputing that Sonny and Nina's romance was unusual, so revisiting it could be interesting. For a moment, it appeared that Sonny's friendship with Natalia Ramirez was about to take a love turn, but everything went apart. Sonny cut connections with Natalia after he discovered she had misled him about Sidwell being her ex-husband with whom she has a son. Sonny has just reconnected with Carly Spencer. But is this to bring them closer to a reunion, or to deepen their co-parenting relationship? Sonny's future is uncertain, so reconnecting with Nina is still an option. What are your thoughts on Nina and Sonny reconciling? Sonny will continue to make predictions about getting out of the mob, so we'll see what changes he takes to his life once it happens. According to General Hospital spoilers, Sonny will face additional problems, so stay tuned for all of the shocking news and massive messes to come. Chris McKenna joined General Hospital this year, taking over for Charles Measure as Jack Brennan. This week he announced an amazing mega event, for which tickets are immediately on sale. Read on for more information. A big announcement. On May 7th, the ABC Star and Coastal Entertainment collaborated on an Instagram post announcing an exciting event for daytime drama watchers. The poster included Finola Hughes, Chris, and Eden McCoy. I'm not sure about other General Hospital fans, but after this depressing week, I'm ready for the nurses' ball. I could use some entertainment and excitement for a change. Dante needs a Snickers because he wasn't himself, and Willow has to hit her head to come to terms with Drew. The soap's continuous politics have become too much. But will this storyline finally release Sonny and Jason from the mob? Let's talk. The blame game. Everyone could tell that following Rocco's near-fatal alcohol poisoning, Dante was blaming everyone but himself for what happened to his son. Every day he would blame someone else. Viewers promptly called Dante out on his uncharacteristic behavior, causing conflict between him and Gio just before it was revealed that Dante is Joe's father. Well, this has blown my previous column's prediction that Gio would reject Brooklyn and accept Dante when the truth is known. By Friday's episode, Dante had began to see the flaws of his ways, but has the damage been done between him and Gio? On many levels, Gio is still a child, and Dante's rage and hatred will remain with him. We'd better get a darn decent apology from Dante to Gio next week. Bravo to Rocco for calling out his father's behavior, stressing that no one forced him to drink all that alcohol and that he did so on his own. The only aspect of Dante's blame tour that I agreed with was his criticism of Jason for being a bad dad, because Jason has always prioritized Sonny, Carly, and their children. However, Dante appeared to offer Jason some food for thought, and Jason realized he needed to adjust things with Danny going ahead. Jason's revelation that Danny couldn't have gotten away with this if he hadn't been with Sonny could be his version of Sonny's Mike moment from last week. Drew the schmuck. Even though we know Nina and Portia set Drew up, his character has become so unlikable that it's tough to feel sympathy for him. Drew has admitted that Portia drugged him, owing to Brad, and it is evident that he intends to continue being Port Charles's biggest slimeball. By the end of the week, it was clear what he had asked Brad for: a vial of ketamine, and he warned Brad that there would be much destruction to come. Drew, what are your plans for that vial? I have some opinions on that which we will discuss. When Willow felt the bottle in Drew's jacket while hugging him and he explained that it was a vitamin infusion from his doctor, all I could think was, oh, come on. Actually, I can't say what was going through my mind at the time. Willow is a nurse. Will she buy that load of bull? With everyone in town basically telling her that the only reason she feels Drew is innocent and was drugged is that it would force her to face the terrible mistakes she's made for this man, And now that she's discovered the vial, will she wise up? Other storyline ponderings. I was astounded that Brad exited the building the way he did. But what does this entail for Aunt Selena? Will she simply drift away again? Hopefully, Brad will return in the future to cause more problems in Port Charles. Sasha notifying Jason about Willow's journey to see Michael will hopefully expose Drew's attempts to hinder the visit. And speaking of Sasha, as much as I enjoy seeing people give Willow hell, she is not the one who should be doing it, considering the baby she is carrying. Thanks to Lois' protection of Gio, Lulu is getting closer to discovering he is Brooke Lynn and Dante's son. She isn't giving up, even if Tracy appears to be putting her in her place next week. As much as I adore Tracy and her big takedowns, I didn't like how quickly she turned on Lois and demonized her for pushing Brooke Lynn to give up her baby. Lois, on the other hand, retaliated effectively against Tracy, pointing out that she abandoned Ned and Dylan on her family. I can't wait to watch Tracy's reaction when she knows Gio has linked the QS to Sunny through blood. I suspected Emma might also be in the WSB, and I was almost right. She told Joss that Dalton's lab was the reason she was dismissed from Berkeley, and she is at PCU to expose whatever horrible things he is up to. Despite this discovery, the espionage storyline has yet to pique my interest. Sidwell's offer to buy Sunny's peers not only answers Sunny's quandary of how to exit the business, but it also appears to resolve the conflict that his connection with Laura is bringing her. Then there was Jason, who, understanding he needed to be more of a parent to Danny, stated that things had to change. This might be the change. We know Blaze will be back soon and is presently on tour with Miguel. In Friday's episode, Lulu also made numerous references to Ricky Martin's old character. Could we be livin' la vida loca at this year's nurses' ball? So, who is Drew going to inject with the ketamine? My hunch is Sunny or Jason, but let's have this backfire terribly on Drew. Someone, ideally Willow, should get the incorrect drink at the ball and embarrass themselves. Finally, I've mentioned it before, but the nurses' ball must be when Michael. Nina's recent remark has sent shockwaves through the General Hospital fans, fueling fervent speculation about a possible reconciliation with Sunny. The 6 words she said were simple yet meaningful, leaving admirers wondering if this was the start of a rekindled romance, or just another twist in their convoluted relationship. Nina and Sunny's relationship is rife with passion, betrayal, and unresolved tension, making any sign of reconciliation a hot topic. Their relationship has always been magnetic, drawing viewers in with its intensity, and now with just a few perfectly selected words, Nina may have sparked the prospect of them reuniting. The context of Nina's comment is critical to comprehending its meaning. Was she chatting casually, or was there a deeper meaning behind her words? Fans have dissected every line, scrutinizing her tone, body language, and the circumstances surrounding the comment. Some feel it was a deliberate maneuver to test the waters and see how Sunny, and the audience, reacted. Others believe it was an emotional slip, a moment of vulnerability that exposed her actual feelings. Regardless of intent, the consequence is undeniable. The prospect of a Nina and Sunny reunion has resurfaced. Sunny's current condition also influences this speculation. His relationships have always been an important part of the show, and his connection with Nina has been one of the most engaging. Sunny's love life, whether with Carly, Brenda, or someone else, is never straightforward. If Nina is hinting at a reunion, how will it influence his other relationships? Would Carly take this as a betrayal, or would she accept it as a result of Sunny's erratic personality? The consequences of a Nina and Sunny reunion might reverberate across Port Charles, affecting friendships, business deals, and family loyalty. Nina's character development is also an important consideration. She's changed dramatically since her inception, from an angry schemer to a more complex, sympathetic character. If she and Sunny were to reunite, would it be on equal terms this time? Will old wounds and power inequalities resurface? Their history was defined by manipulation and secrets, but if both characters have truly changed, a second chance may result in a happier, more stable partnership. Fans have witnessed glimpses of their chemistry even during dispute, implying that there is still something between them worth exploring. Of course, not everyone agrees that Nina's statements were a sincere attempt at reconciliation. Some fans feel that it could be a red herring, a ploy by the writers to generate interest without ever revisiting the pairing. Soap operas are infamous for their twists and diversions, And what appears to be a clear signal one day may turn out to be nothing the next. Alternatively, Nina's remark could have been misinterpreted. Perhaps she was talking to something completely unrelated, and admirers are reading too much into it. The capacity of General Hospital to keep viewers guessing is one of its most appealing aspects, and this is no exception. The prospect of a Nina and Sunny reunion raises concerns about the fate of other characters. How would Willow react, given her tangled relationship with Nina and Sunny? What about Michael, who has already clashed with Sunny? The Corinthos family dynamics are constantly altering, and a new romantic relationship for Sunny could jeopardize the fragile harmony that has been achieved. On the other side, it could result in unexpected alliances and new plots, providing the writers with new material to explore. One thing is certain: if Nina and Sunny do reunite, things will not go smoothly. Their relationship has never been simple, and any attempt to restart it will undoubtedly face significant challenges. Trust would have to be re-established, previous mistakes corrected, and external pressures overcome. The drama, emotion, and high stakes are what make their pairing so appealing. Fans are drawn to tumultuous, unpredictable love stories, and Nina and Sunny certainly meet the bill. Nothing is off the table in General Hospital, a world full with secrets and surprises around every corner. Nina's 6 words could have been a passing remark, or they could be the beginning step toward a significant plotline. Only time will tell whether this suggestion leads to a full-fledged reunion or fades away as another what-if in the show's lengthy history. Until then, fans will continue to wonder, discuss, and pray for the return of one of Port Charles's most captivating couples. The significance of Nina's statements goes beyond the possibility of a romantic reunion. It also addresses the bigger issues of forgiveness and second chances, which General Hospital frequently tackles. Can people actually change? Or will they continue to make the same mistakes? If Nina and Sunny are able to reconcile, it could prove that love can endure despite past betrayals. However, if they don't, it may perpetuate the belief that some wounds are too deep to be healed. Regardless, the emotional weight of their history ensures that any interaction between them is meaningful. The authors of General Hospital have a talent for keeping audiences interested by messing with expectations. They understand that relationships like Nina and Sunny's are fertile ground for drama, and they aren't afraid to tease the audience with possibilities before taking the tale in an entirely other route. This unpredictability is one of the reasons the show has lasted so long. Whether Nina's comment was a true clue or just another twist in the ever-changing story, it sparked conversation. As spectators anticipate more events, one thing is clear: Nina and Sunny's chemistry is undeniable. Even when they disagree, there's a spark that keeps the scenes interesting. If the writers chose to rekindle their romance, it might revitalize both characters, providing new obstacles and potential for growth. Alternatively, if they continue to be apart, their tension will boil, creating material for future fights and emotional occasions. Finally, Nina's 6 words are powerful because they are ambiguous. They've opened the door to endless options, and it's up to the show's creative staff to decide where the tale goes next. For the time being, fans may enjoy the conjecture, discussions, and excitement of not knowing what will happen next. After all, everything is possible in Port Charles, and it frequently does. The debate over Nina's comment also demonstrates the intense engagement of General Hospital's followers. Viewers don't just watch the show passively. They study, theorize, and become emotionally invested in the characters' stories. This kind of attention demonstrates the show's capacity to develop complex, multidimensional relationships that connect with audiences. Whether they support a Nina and Sunny reunion or oppose it, fans are strongly invested in the outcome, which is a sign of good storytelling. As the story progresses, one can't help but wonder about the real-life consequences of such a meeting. Will it raise ratings? Will it appease longtime supporters or turn off those who prefer Sunny with different partners? The writers must strike a balance between creative decisions and audience expectations, which is a natural difficulty for serialized drama. Whatever course they take,